It's Career Friday here on Cheddar News when we share our top tips and advice for job seekers. With companies continuing to announce fresh rounds of layoffs and hiring freezes amid a turbulent economy, today we want to focus on what you can do to protect your job. So joining me is Teresa Lusk, speaker, life coach, and host of the Teresa Lusk Show. Teresa, thanks so much for joining me. A lot of murky times out there, uncertainty, I think, for workers. We've seen some in the tech sector recently get laid off. Concerns about it might spreading to other industries as well. So what can employees do to avoid the news of a layoff?
There's several things that an employee can do. Number one, I want to encourage them to be personable. When you're going through the anxiety of possibly losing your employment, your attitude changes, your mood changes. And so you want to be aware that it is good to just be, be aware of your emotions, be aware of smiling, be aware of just being personable, bringing something positive into the office atmosphere. The second thing I'd like to recommend is that you would be an employee that goes the extra mile. There are many times when people say, well, that's not in my job description. But in this season, it is important to say, hey, if my coworker needs help, I will be the one to step up and help. The next thing is be a jack of all trades. Listen, it's okay to learn something outside of what was given to you. It actually will make you more valuable because you can fill in the spot of another employee should they be laid off. And those are just some great ways to get started.
How do companies decide, Teresa, who to let go? If you're a worker who does learn that you're losing your job, what does that mean?
I think it has a lot to do with your history. This is why it's important to be a good employee at all times. But a lot of times it has to do with your history of, how did they observe you? Were you a go-getter? Were you the person who was willing to go out of their way to help, to get the job done, to show up on time? These are just a few of the things that an employer might look at, including your salary.
Very good to know, Teresa. Do you know if how do you know, kind of get an indication if you or anyone in your division might be at risk of getting let go?
Well, there's no guarantee to how you can identify that, but a lot of times your employer might actually give you a hint if you just pay attention. They're not usually allowed to tell you ahead of time, but pay attention to the clues. Pay attention to how did your last review go? Did it seem like they were trying to avoid talking about an increase in pay? And then, of course, layoffs for other employees. That's another way to just kind of pay attention and go, okay, the company is starting to do some layoffs. And so maybe it's my turn, my opportunity to go ahead and update my resume and maybe look at the skills, look at what's out there. What other types of jobs are out there right now? What are they looking for? And is there a place that I can sharpen my skills? That way I am prepared should this come about.
So if you think, Teresa, I think you were kind of hinting at it there, but if you think that a layoff might be in your future, what are some ways to prepare for that?
Absolutely. So prepare your resume. Number one, prepare it, don't delay. Look at other job posts out there with your same title and look at those descriptions. Update it, make it sharp. Make sure that you check your grammar and punctuation, things of that nature. Definitely network. Social media is the greatest place to network. You can let people know, hey, I'm actually concerned about my job. If you know of any openings, friends, family, old coworkers, some of the best places where you can find a job is through people who you used to work with. So don't be afraid to send out an email, send out a text, and connect on social media. Those are definitely some things that you can start with.
All right, Teresa Lusk, speaker, life coach, and host of the Teresa Lusk Show. I wish we had more time, but such great insight. Teresa, thank you.